The final race of the weekend here at round 6 of the 2020 Euroformula Open about to get started. We are here at Spa-Francorchamps, 14 laps of racing coming up for you, or 35 minutes should we see any delays in the race. Longest circuit on the calendar, and the second race of the weekend, probably the race of the season so far, was an absolute thriller. I'm sure any of you who were tuned in would agree with that. Any of you who missed it, well, you have to go back and watch it. And one thing that we learned from it is that it is never over until it's over. We had a new winning driver and a new winning team for the season. Double R Racing took the top step of the podium. Louis Foster, who we just saw there winning. The American-based Benjamin Pedersen had a good race as well, finishing in 4th place. Overall, a good result for the team. What happened? Well, we had a fight between Yiffy and Lucas Dunner out front for the second time this season. An incident between the pair coming on to the Camel Straight saw Yiffy turned round and facing the wrong way, and we had a puncture for Lucas Dunner as well. He would sadly have to crawl back to the pit lane. That meant Louis Foster would take the lead of the race, just over 2 seconds ahead of the chasing pack. And then we had the likes of Ido Cohen in behind that as well. It was a fantastic race. Finishing in 3rd place, rounding out the podium, was Glenn Van Berlo, and finishing in 4th place was Cameron Daz. It was a fantastic race overall. The fight for second between Cohen, Van Berlo and Cameron Daz went down to the last corner. There was a couple of instances where some of them were cutting over the Lake Hume chicane here, and that meant that the drivers, when they come onto the start-finish line on the final lap, were having to try and give places back to each other. It was an incredible result. So it was Ido Cohen who finished in 2nd place to take his 2nd podium of the season and of the weekend. Glenn Van Berlo would finish in 3rd place. Glenn Van Berlo, who started dead last. So Louis Foster took the win, his first weekend ever in the championship. Cohen from 8th place took 2nd. Glenn Van Berlo from 14th and dead last on the grid took 3rd. His best result of the season, previously beating 5th. And a rookie win for him as well. Cameron Daz he's there in picture now. He had an interesting race, let's just say that. He was fighting for the top 5 places at the start, then had contact with Zane Maloney, had to come in with a puncture to repair it, went back out onto the circuit, and Zane Maloney's stricken car caused a safety car. He would then rejoin at the back of the queue and fought all the way from dead last to finish in 4th place. Absolutely remarkable drive. Ben Pedersen, who dropped back at the start, would finish in 5th place. Nicholas Cruton came from outside the top 10 to finish in 6th place. Andreas Essner finished where he started somehow in 7th, despite all the antics. Rui Andrade took one of his best results of the season with 8th. Sebastian Essner finished in 9th. Alexandre Bardignon finished in 10th place, which is his 4th point score of the season. Then outside of the top 10, we had Yiffy, who of course had that contact, Maldonado, Dunner, and Maloney, his 2nd non-finish of the weekend. Well, we're going to go back now and look back at the highlights from race 2. There was a lot to talk about. I'll be joined by Elliot Woods throughout this race, and we will talk a lot through it, I'm sure, because even after the race, there were so many talking points. It was an incredible race. I managed to get down to speak to the guys afterwards. So this was the start of the race then. Lucas Dunner, Yiffy. Lucas Dunner left, Yiffy right. They would lead us down towards turn number 1 on the opening lap. Nicholas Cruton tucked in towards 3rd place as they battled away for the race lead. This was the race 1. Lucas Dunner and Yiffy would go head-to-head. That was the moment that Lucas Dunner, just after giving the lead back, was unable to get it back from Yiffy, and Yiffy would go up to the line to take the first race win of the weekend, with Lucas Dunner finishing in 2nd place. They would see a lot more of each other in race number 2, and this is how that 2nd race got underway. As we went down towards turn number 1, Cameron Daz would be in 3rd place. After a penalty in race 1, he had to start from the back. This time he would start from 3rd after having just had contact. Maloney would then be out of the race. Daz would have to crawl round to the pit lane. That brought out the safety car. Daz would rejoin the queue now at the back of the field. Yi would lead us out front, and he and Dunner would make contact there. Yi would spin round. Dunner would, unfortunately, as you can see, his left rear tyre deflating on him. He would have to crawl back to the pit lane, and that handed the lead to Louis Foster, and he would make no mistake stakes going up to take win. To the right of screen, Glenn Van Berlo is trying to give the place back to Ido Cohen, and he would do that with Ido Cohen finishing in 3rd place and Cameron Daz in 4th. It was a sensational race. It was the most eventful race of the weekend, but we have another one here. Race 3 is going to be led by Yifa Yi. He's going to start on pole position, his first of the weekend. He battling away with Lucas Dunner, and they've got some unfinished business with each other, I think it's fair to say, going into this one. It is 1-0 to Yifa Yi, but both of them having a terrible, terrible race too. Cameron Daz, well, he proved he can come from the back and do it twice, because he came from last to 5th in race 1, last to 4th. Now can he do it from the front? Louis Foster took the win earlier. He said that his goal for this one is a podium. His realistic aim is a podium. Let's see if he can achieve that. Spoke to Ben Pedersen before the race. They feel they're getting quicker every time. Indeed they are. They've proved they got race-winning pace now. Ben Pedersen will have his eyes on a podium finish in this one. Manuel Maldonado has made it very exciting for us when it comes to overtaking this weekend, particularly at La Source. His move at Pouon in race 2, absolutely fantastic. He's done a double overtake into La Source as well. Let's see what he can do in this one. He's promised more action. No doubt there'll be more as well. Andreas Essner somehow finished where he started in all the chaos of race 2. I'm not quite sure how that happened, really. He'll be hoping to move forward, as will Nicolas Cruton. Not been his best weekend of the season, probably been one of his worst so far. Let's see if he can turn things round and end on a high in race number 3. Starting then next will be Glenn Van Berlo. Came from 14th to 3rd, gaining 11 places last time round, and he came from the pit lane to 10th in race number 1. Hoping just to finish this race will be Zane Maloney. It's been an absolutely terrible weekend for Zane Maloney. However, he's been one of the quickest drivers on track, so if he can stay out, let's see what he can do. Murray Andrade, one of his best results last time out, a good result with 8th. That will give him confidence going into this one, no doubt. The Angolan will start there in 11th. 12th will be Sebastian Essner. Starting pace-wise to find the form he showed at the beginning of the season. We'll now be hoping to turn that into a good result. And definitely watch out for this man, from 8th to a podium in both races so far. I'm actually quite excited to see him starting right at the back of the field. I don't think he will be, but he's got the pace to move forward. And Alexandre Bardignon in the points once again in the last race. He's going to go off P14 in this one, as we are gearing up for race number 3 here at Spa in the Euroformula Open. Grid now being cleared, and we are gearing up for our warm-up lap. It's going to be a thriller, no doubt, this one. Can it top the race we had earlier? As the teams now leave the grid, we'll go through that one more time for you. Yifa Yi and Lucas Dunner, they're going to be on row number 1. Cameron Daz and Louis Foster on row number 2. Cameron Daz will feel he deserves a podium, and many would agree with him. Benjamin Pedersen and Manuel Maldonado on row 3. Andreas Essner and Nicolas Cruton, the 2 Germans, start from row number 4. Row 5 is going to be Glenn Van Berlo and Zane Maloney. Rui Andrade and Sebastian Essner start just outside of the points. And then, starting on the back row of the grid, Ido Cohen and Alexandre Bardignon. Engines now fired as we are about to set off for our warm-up lap. And joining me in the commentary box is Elliot Wood. Elliot, where did we start with race number 2? It wasn't bad, was it? It was a pretty good race. There was so much to talk about it. For example, I forgot that Glenn Van Berlo actually started last in that race, and he came through to finish 3rd. The Double R boys absolutely ecstatic with their win, went and spoke to them. And then we had Cohen, another podium for him. And Daz as well, going from 3rd to last and then last to 4th.
Yeah, that looked like Warren Hughes there. From the back of his head, I can tell driver coaches easily. Yeah, I think the best place to start is from the words from the drivers themselves. And I got to speak to Yifa Yi and Lucas Dunner after the race, and they were complimentary to each other. They explained like they understood how they were playing it out with each other, and essentially it boiled down to they usually passed each other kind of halfway down the Kemmel Straight, and on that occasion, and we'll probably see it as I do the warm-up lap, Yifa Yi was already on Lucas Dunner's gearbox as he exited Eau Rouge, which meant he had to choose a direction to go in to make a move already, because otherwise he'd just lift off, lose a lot of pace, or go into the rear of Dunner. So he went to the left. Dunner's plan was to go to the left because, as we've seen in the first 2 races, Ye always defends on the right and attacks on the right as well, down the Kemmel Straight. So Dunner kind of remembered this, moved to the left, And then Ye was already moving to the left as well, because he wanted to make an overtake. And they made the tiniest of touches. I've looked at the cars, minimal damage, like front wing end plate literally just tapped Lucas Dunner's left rear tyre. And going down the straight, because he was still on full throttle, the pressure in the tyre was being kept up. As soon as he braked for Lecombe, which is at the end of this straight, as we'll see here, the tyre just kind of went and delaminated. Great sound effect there.
Yeah, I was going to say, that could have been anything.
Yeah, but both of them managed to finish the race, and they were surprisingly pleased that they did, even though they finished outside the points.
I mean, they finished outside the points, though, yeah.
Yeah, it was another race finish. I imagine team principal Timo Rumpf wasn't too upset at that. And given this morning, the motor park with BMAX Racing Team in Japan, Sergio Seti Kamara, same kind of domination levels of performance as these two, did a great pole on his debut in qualifying, and then he binned it on cold tyres on his outlap. So the team wasn't very happy already. So I think by finishing the race after battling for the lead, even if they didn't finish it at the front, was still something to smile about, because they'd shown they could have won the race. That was a very convoluted way of saying they both, said sorry to each other, essentially.
Good, because it was, I mean, I was speaking about it to someone else, and it just seemed so strange. It was like it was like Yiffy just decided to go for a trip over the grass on his own. Like,
yeah, he claims the grass was wet, and I haven't had an opportunity to go up there, but we only had the warning that there was rain in the GT Open race about an hour ago.
Mate, look, it's been a lot of rain this weekend at time. Not for our races, we've been dry racing the weekend. There was a lot of rain on we had rain at some
Thursday.
point. Yeah. I don't know, maybe it was, but it's certainly not going to be grippy, but it looked like he just drove off, so it makes sense.
And the drama continued, because after Louis Foster won the race, he tried to smash his, not champagne because he's under 18, smashed his bottle on the podium as pioneered by Lando Norris and Antonio Felix Costa, and he ended up actually getting shards of the bottle in his hand, so he had to get a plaster on that. But I don't think it'll impact his driving, but it was, the drama continued all the way through that race. It was a great thing seeing. And Glenn Van Berlo was actually in second place, but he gave away second place to Edo Cohen off the line because of having made that legal overtake, supposedly.
I think he did the right thing.
Lecombe.
Yeah, I think he did the right thing. It was a very strange end to the race. Let's see what happens in this one. I think we kind of used up all the drama in that second race, but hey, we got race 3 ahead of us. We've got unfinished business at the front. We've got lots of people who want to end on a podium just behind, and the cars are currently lining up. So the grid one more time for you. Ye and Dunner, Daz and Foster, Pedersen and Maldonado, Esner, Cruton, the lead rookie, Van Berlo, Maloney, Andrade Esner, Cohen and Bardignon. The teams are ready. We are watching the grid. The green flag has waved. The red lights are now starting to come on. When they go out, we will be racing, and off we go then. It's Ye to the left of picture, Dunner to the right as we go down towards turn number 1, and Ye with a great launch is going to be able to lead us in towards turn number 1 with no problems. Lucas Dunner, oh no, we've got a spin in the middle of the pack there. Car has gone round, and is that Benjamin Pedersen who has been caught up in that? It is, and the other car is Louis Foster. So Foster and Pedersen immediately out of the race. I think the two teammates have managed to make contact with each other. Louis Foster had gone round and Pedersen had nowhere to go. So from heroes to zeros for Double R Racing, unfortunately, as we are now side by side to the lead with Ye and Dunner. Down the Kemmel Straight we go. Daz is trying to get involved in this as well. Cameron Daz round the outs. Oh no, contact! Cameron Daz has gone round. Also going round is Ye. Van Berlo's gone across the chicane and has emerged in second place. As the cars get going, this has led a big advantage here to Lucas Dunner. Second is Glenn Van Berlo. He's now trying to give back positions. Manuel Maldonado is now in second. Maloney is in fourth place with Van Berlo in third. As they come through turn 11, there could be even further contact here. Oh, stay safe, guys. That looked like Esner and Cohen as we make our way down towards Podium. Lots of drama on the opening lap of the race here as the cars go through Podium for the first time, and now down towards turn 13.
And we've still got a yellow flag at turn 1, so I'd expect the safety car would be on standby if they haven't managed to retrieve those cars. There's a lockout there. Cameron Daz loses another spot, and they're still jostling through those positions. Yeah,
that's Cohen who's lost a place there, and that was, as we go into now, that's a place being given back. That's a slowing car there. We've got a puncture there for Esner, who is slowing down, and safety car has been deployed. So Lucas Dunner's big lead is going to be lost immediately. And here we go. Which of the Esner brothers is it? It's the number 15 of Sebastian Esner. What a dramatic start to the race. The drama continues here at Spa. The pace is now being controlled by Lucas Dunner. Manuel Maldonado is now in second place. Manuel Maldonado, who's had 2 second places at Red Bull Ring, looking to get his 3rd podium of the season.
Our timing screen's actually showing Maldonado in the lead. I'm not sure if that's right, because
I think that's a
we weren't
glitch,
following Lucas Dunner, so we don't know where he is on track right now. They're coming through the final corner. Dunner is indeed in the lead. Maldonado, Van Berlo, who didn't give us a second spot back to Maloney, who's now in 4th. He started down in 8th, didn't he? Yiffy Ye.
We've got someone diving into the pits
in the 5th. Niklas Kruton.
Someone's coming to pit lane, and it's, of course, Sebastian Essner.
Yeah.
So let's figure out what's happened here. So Louis Foster is going to be on the outside of row 2. He's the one to watch. So 2nd in the queue. So he's had a bad start there. He's going to turn in towards turn number 1, 4th in the queue here. Pedersen's trying to come down the inside, and the 2 teammates have made contact with each other.
I'm not sure they did actually make initial contact.
Disaster that is. It looked to me, given the front left of Pedersen's car, it
looks like the motorpark car span around Foster.
Car, so, oh dear.
Because Pedersen had taken the total inside line, it did look like he kind of bounced over the curb. And there's Das spinning while trying to overtake Yiffy Ye. See how Yiffy Ye emerged from this. Came out in 5th place with limited damage, so he did a good job there.
So, I mean, with the angles we had, unless we see it again, I don't want to point the finger at anyone with that incident, to be honest. It's just an unfortunate incident that the double R cars, one has spun round, the other with nowhere to go, have found themselves making contact with each other. What a shame for that team, who had such a good result in race 2, really deserved. And both those guys had their eyes on this race. That was what they were working towards, and a huge shame for them. But Lucas Dunner leads from Manuel Maldonado. Glenn Van Berlo, once again, is in 3rd place. Absolutely crazy. He started 9th on the grid. Manuel Maldonado started 6th on the grid. Maloney started in 10th, and he is now 4th. Yiffy Ye, the championship leader, is 5th, so no doubt he's going to be coming back through the field. Kruton is 6th, Cohen 7th, Essner 9th, Essner 8th, and it's Daz Andrade Bardignon, and Sebastian Essner's in the pits. Foster and Pedersen out.
What we need to see is where Van Berlo was as he entered Lecombe. Now, he made up 2 places, you could say, fairly against Das and Ye, because they also went across the chicane and didn't actually take to the track. But he was behind Maloney, and now he's ahead of him. So I would have expected to have given that place back.
He will be told, won't he? Race control will be looking into that immediately, and if they feel that he's gained an unfair advantage, the message will come up that you have to give that place back. In race 2, drivers were waiting almost for those messages to come up, weren't they? So if I'm Glenn Van Berlo, I'm just going to stay there. What's the point?
Well, it would make sense if they make these decisions while the safety car's out, because then you can give away those positions very clearly and legally as well.
But it's, you don't just want to rush a decision like that, and they've already got a lot of investigating on their hands, isn't they? With the incident we've had at turn 1, which has left both Foster and Pedersen out, and the Daz incident as well, which has left him down in 9th place. So once again, Cameron Daz has got a task on his hands to fight through. More drama here at Spa, and we're going to continue once more. The race about to get restarted. Dunner will be the one that's going to lead the way. Maldonado in 2nd. Glenn Van Berlo, the lead rookie, once again in the podium positions, but 2nd of the rookies, and looking to make up for a poor weekend so far is Zay Maloney. Nothing's gone his way. He's now had a bit of good fortune. Can he take advantage and get an overall podium? Yiffy Ye, though, is right behind him, championship leader. He sits 5th. Kruton, Cohen, Essner, Daz, Andrade, your top 10. Dunner continues to control the pace. The number 33 is Maldonado in the white car there. Number 12 is the Drivex car of Glenn Van Berlo, and Dunner really slowing down the speed, and now he's gone for it. Foot down for Dunner as he now leads us down towards the chicane, and the field still has stayed very compressed here as we go down to the chicane for the first time in the restart. Hard on the brakes we go into the chicane. Maldonado has just got to try and stay with Dunner here, otherwise he will be in danger of losing a place to Van Berlo, and we know Van Berlo doesn't mind a move around the outside at Lecombe. They go up towards La Source, and a good gap there for Dunner. 6/10 advantage should be enough for him to hold on. Here comes Cameron Daz going down the inside. Andreas Essner, and that is Cameron Daz up into 8th, and we will keep a close eye on him throughout this race. Next on his list is going to be Ido Cohen. Let's watch them up the Kemmel Straight then for the first time of the restart. Dunner leading Maldonado. They're all going to get in the tow. Watch for Van Berlo in 3rd place. He is right with Maldonado. He's had a brilliant run, has Glenn Van Berlo, and he's going to be challenging for 2nd perhaps as they go up towards Lake Coombe. Maldonado trying to get the slipstream from Dunner. Here comes Glenn Van Berlo down the inside of Maldonado. Maldonado late on the brakes, just is able to hold on. Good defensive driving from Manuel Maldonado to stay in 2nd. Van Berlo looked like he fancied to look down the inside there, but Maldonado has one ride. Here comes Maloney now to the outside of Glenn Van Berlo. Is he going to try all the way around the outside? No, Glenn Van Berlo is going to run him wide.
A great battling there. I think Van Berlo got a bit lucky in not making contact with Maldonado there. We've had 1 lap added to this race, maximum time limit of 35 minutes. We actually ran to the clock in the last race because of the drama that took place. The 2 Motorpark teammates now battling. That is, I believe is Niklas Kruten and Yiffy Ye ahead. Ye hasn't made progress so far, and we've seen him and Dunner normally pull away as Ido Cohen's all over the rear of Niklas Kruten. They've battled quite a few times this weekend. And obviously Kruten is not the rookie class leader this time. It would be Glenn Van Berlo, and that will certainly close up the title race between those two, because obviously Van Berlo won the class in the previous race as well.
That's something we'll keep an eye on, I'm sure, going in towards the final 2 rounds. But for now, we'll stay with our attention on this race. As we can see Ido Cohen there in the blue trying to go down the inside of Niklas Kruten. He got a fantastic run through Stavilo, and Ido Cohen, before they get to Blanchimont, has made that move. Here side by side then we've got Maloney to the right of picture, Van Berlo to the left as we come in towards the chicane in the predominantly blue there. That's Maloney trying to go around the outside. Oh dear, and they've made contact. Van Berlo having to take to the exit there. They come out of the chicane and now down the start finish straight, and this all brings Yiffy Ye into play. He is to the right of picture now, trying to go down the outside of Maloney. Glenn Van Berlo might take an aggressive approach as he tries to fight back down the inside of Maloney. Brilliant move from Glenn Van Berlo, but all of this giving 3rd place now to Yiffy Ye as we go down towards Eau Rouge. So Yiffy Ye, this isn't for the lead of the race, that's 3rd place. The 2 leaders are way off in the distance. Glenn Van Berlo is then 2nd in the queue and 4th. Then it is Cohen next along as they come down the Kemmel Straight. Maloney is under pressure from Niklas Kruten. Cameron Daz is next along. There are your 2 leaders out front. As we go down towards Lake Coombe, we've got Yiffy Ye defending to the left. We've got Cohen to the right trying to get through and into 3rd place. And as they hit the brakes, Ido Cohen back into the podium positions for the 3rd time this weekend.
What a move by Ido Cohen. He's just overtaken, 3 cars basically in a whole lap. Brilliant job there, and he's already pulling away as well. He's certainly got pace this weekend, which some other drivers haven't been able to find in the races. Cameron Dass is now ahead of Zane Maloney as well. Das is now up to 7th spot, so he's gone all the way up and then all the way down and then back up again. Great job by Cameron Das. No matter how damaged his car seems to be this weekend, he's just charging through the field.
The Israeli driver in 3rd has done a brilliant job, but as is the American, he's really not been given a fair run at it, is he, this weekend? No further action, by the way, for the incident at Turn 1. Maybe it was just too many into one doesn't go. Typical first lap dramas. People making moves and other people getting caught out. A real shame, though, for the RR Racing team. But here we have Niklas Kruten in the number 4, looking to try and end his weekend on a high. This is the Maloney incident, right? So he's tried to go around the outside here of Van Berlo. Oh, no, Maloney. That's a move I just don't think was ever going to work there. Too tight going into the corner. Van Berlo turns in and taken to the sausage curbs on the inside was Maloney there. And
50-50, I think.
I'm not sure that was ever going to work, in my opinion.
If it stayed on the brakes a little longer, then they wouldn't have made contact. That would have made all the difference. But equally, Van Berlo did cut in as if he wasn't there.
It was like a T-bone.
As we come to the end of 3rd lap, instant involving cars 28, 20, and 69. So that's Ye, 28, Cameron Dass, and Lucas Dunner will be investigated after the race as Kruten passes Van Berlo. So Van Berlo is now down to 6th place. All that brilliant progress he made at the start, and Drivix are not happy.
What's going on? Is he carrying damage though?
He might possibly be, because the gap that Ido Cohen and Yiffy Ye have created.
I think he might be, because that was pretty heavy contact. That was Maloney's front of the car, going straight into his. It's now Glenn Van Berlo's trying to find a gap on the inside of Nicholas Cruton. Used a bit of track limits to do it, in my opinion, but nevertheless, he is through and he's on the inside, and we're now 3 wide. To the left is Van Berlo, to the right is Cameron Daz. That's Cohen going side by side, but here's Cameron Daz trying to go around the outside of Van Berlo and just getting run wide there. But up ahead, 2 battles to try and keep your eye on, because this is Maldonado and Cohen battling over second place now. So Cohen with great pace this weekend, trying to get past Manuel Maldonado. In fact, that's Yiffy. Apologies. Manuel Maldonado is well clear from this. He's 3 seconds up the road. That is Yiffy with Cohen battling for third place. Yiffy having gone past Ido Cohen for third.
And I think run down the order right now. Lucas Dunner 1.4 seconds ahead of Manuel Maldonado with a 3-second margin to now Yiffy in third, Ido Cohen in fourth. Glenn Van Berlo's back up to fifth. Cameron Dasek for Nicholas Cruton had got up to fifth, now he's down to seventh. Zane Maloney's dropped back in eighth. Andreas Essner in ninth, Rui Andrade in 10th, Sebastian Essner 11th, Alexander Bardignon of the cars still on track right now.
Glenn Van Berlo in picture, making his way through Stavolo. This is the move, so he's gone all 4 wheels over the white line. You know, I don't know, I think that might be seen as track limits personally, as the Drybex guys down there, they've had some day, haven't they, watching Glenn Van Berlo. It's been lots of ups and downs, but a lot more ups in that second race. He's given them a lot of things to watch. It's not been a straightforward, you know, 8th to 8th in a race. It's been, you know, back to the front twice. He's had to start from the pit lane, gone to 10th. From 14th, he went up to 3rd, and now from the back of the grid once again, he is all the way from 9th on the grid. He is battling away for the top 5. Brilliant stuff from the Dutch driver. But Dunner leads by 1.5 seconds. That gap has opened up by a couple of hundredths. It's really a 2-way fight at the front. Yiffy, who we see here now, is some 4 seconds back, just under that. Cameron Daz is now trying to line up a move on Glenn Van Berlo. And
the team managers of Ido Cohen and Glenn Van Berlo must report to race control immediately, as we're seeing the battle continue at the back. That's Glenn Van Berlo alongside Cameron Daz going down the Camel Straight, only 2 wide this time, and Daz does stay ahead. He's even defending his line going into the corner once he's completed the pass, because on previous occasions these two have stayed side by side going through Lacombe.
Yeah, they know each other pretty well, don't they, after today? They've become good friends out on track.
Yeah, and in the end, very slidey by Glenn Van Berlo, opposite lock, rear wheels sliding out. Don't think the track's wet, but Glenn Van Berlo did take DriveX's first podium in 2 years earlier today, whereas Cameron Daz has also waited 2 years for his most recent podium, and he still hasn't done it.
There's still time. There's still time. There are the Motorpark guys watching on as...
none of the teams seem very infused in the pictures we're going to at the moment.
They've all had their drama, you know. Even if Lucas Dunner is leading, they've had plenty to deal with in that team today.
Yeah, and they're running, the top 3 are running at pretty much the same pace. Lucas Dunner, Maldonado and Ye, 2-minute 11.5s and 2-minute 11.6. So the gap between those 3 isn't closing up at all, whereas the gap between 3rd and 4th has kind of grown between Ye and Cohen, and now Cohen's holding up 3 cars. Das, who's closed right onto the rear of him, Glenn Van Berlo and Nicholas Cruton.
Down towards the final chicane go Ido Cohen and Cameron Daz. Into the final chicane now. The Israeli driver doing a brilliant job this weekend. It's been one of his best weekends in the championship, after the likes of Hungary, where he went really well there, actually. Got a 4th. Got 8 points, 12 and 12. So 2 4th places. Did a really good job. And we were expecting podium finishes. I didn't think it would quite take this long, but he's had a lot of bad fortunes. But 2 podiums for him this weekend. He's now in 4th. He's got Cameron Daz behind him. Gap between the 2 leaders is extending, but I think Cameron Daz is about to go through to 4th place. What a result it would be if Cameron Daz could fight back to a podium. He draws side by side with Ido Cohen. He's going to grab the toe now from Yiffy as they go down the Camel Straight and down towards Lake Coombe, and it's going to be who breaks later, and it's going to be Daz who breaks later, and that's going to be 4th place for the American. So Cameron Daz through. This is Nicholas Cruton versus Glenn Van Berlo. Glenn Van Berlo now down to 7th. He was once in 2nd for a corner.
And Das is actually going faster than anyone else on track right now. He's the first driver to dip into the 2-minute 10s, a 2-minute 10.967. Lucas Dunner had previously just set fastest lap a few seconds earlier, so I think Das will have no trouble in closing down on Yiffier right now.
Nicolas Cruton going past Van Berlo is a change for the lead in the rookie standings. The leader in the rookie standings into the lead. Oh, clever. I think he's rattled mentally, or he's got damage.
He might have a clutch problem again, because the reason he started from the pit lane in race 1 yesterday was he literally couldn't get off the line. The car was incapable of doing it, so they had to do kind of a rolling start in the pits. And he said the problem kind of persisted in the race, even though he charged up the order. And our timing screen briefly showed Maldonado passing Lucas Dunner there. I don't think that was the case. But if Van Berlo does have a problem, it could be that Maldonado had to pit in this morning's race because his steering wheel basically wasn't functioning. So he had to go into the pits, he had to completely change the whole steering rig / setup and whack a new steering wheel on, and then he was off and away. And I think he ended up beating Lucas Dunner after Dunner and Ye clashed towards the conclusion of that race.
So that's why it's always still worth going back out there, because you never know what can happen. Down the start-finish straight now, that is 7 laps completed here.
Cameron Das, an astonishing lap, a 2-minute 10.7. He's taken 2 tenths out of Yiffier and almost a second at Maldonado. Actually, Lucas Dunner has gone even quicker than that as well, 2-minute 10.3, with no slipstream whatsoever he has right now. So potentially the tyres are in their peak operating window right now, and you know, the drivers are probably the more mileage at track as well. This is the most comfortable they've been all weekend.
Yiffier was half a second quicker than Maldonado last time around. Maldonado might just be going into more management mode now with Lucas Dunner 2.9 down the road. If there's contact anywhere though, and we see a safety car, then it could all change as Andreas Essner goes past Maloney, who must have damage to that car of some sort after that contact. But that is a change for position between Essner and Maloney. And Maloney, this is going to be a weekend I think he will want to forget about as quickly as possible. Next behind him is going to be Rui Andrade, who want to get another points finish this weekend. He's in the points in the last race. See if he can make it 2 for the weekend, just like he did at the likes of Paul Ricard, Monza and Red Bull Ring as well.
Cameron Das is the quickest of our front 4 drivers through the first sector. Ido Cohen's actually gone quicker. Nicolas Cruton even faster than that through that sector, 38.5. So
it's closing up.
Yeah,
it's closing up. Not these guys. We're talking about the guys ahead. It's closing up there. This is a close battle likewise. Essner has just got to the head of it though, and you can already see he's pulling away now. Maloney has been left to dealt with another Essner.
At the same time, if the driver at the front of this pack does have the pace to challenge drivers ahead, they're kind of pulling along everyone behind them.
Yes.
Which is why we're seeing the whole pack close up as Lucas Dunner crosses lines, complete the 8th lap of the race even. 3.945 seconds ahead of Manuel Maldonado. 2.5 separate Maldonado and Ye as Maloney goes through the final corner. We've got Das in 4th, Cohen in 5th, Cruton in 6th, Van Berlo in 7th, Maloney just in 8th because Andreas Essner is all over him, and I think he's going to try and take a move at turn 1.
Sebastian Essner doing his best here to get past Zane Maloney. The battle for 9th continues. Andrade watching on. Bardignon not too far behind that either. Foster and Pedersen sadly out of the race. The gap between the top 2 has gone up to 4 seconds. Maldonado just struggling a bit on that last lap, and it's brought the gap down to 2.5 seconds. But this is your battle between Maloney and Sebastian Essner up in the distance. You might see Sebastian Essner to the right and Maloney to the left as they now come closer to our pictures. Here we can see that's Essner going through, so that is a change for 9th place, and Maloney in danger of dropping out of the points here. It would be a pointless weekend for Maloney here if he is to lose another place and Rui Andrade is to come through. We're halfway through the race as well.
We thought Maloney had made such a breakthrough after Ben Barnicoat was brought in at Mugello to kind of help the setup development of the Carlin team in Euroformula, but so far the results haven't been happening for Maloney, even though we clearly can see the pace is there.
Well, I think this weekend it's you know, it's been incidents more than outright pace, isn't it? He had that crash with Cruton, he had a crash with Daz, and in this one he's had a crash with Van Berlo. I look back at the lap times, and he's always been about the 3rd or 4th quickest out on track when it comes to fastest lap. So he has the pace to be in the podium positions. It's, you know, it's just he's just found himself in incidents.
I think he has the peak race pace, but what we've seen with the Carlin setup so far is, you know, you can make places in the opening laps, but then everyone just kind of pulls away from you throughout the rest of the race. As Cohen kind of defends through the final corner, a bit of an odd defence against Niklas Cruton. And Cohen's given the same feedback to the team as well. Similar issue, they try and compare setups, and ultimately they can make up places very early on, but then they're not improving on that pace throughout the race. As Cruton's eyeing up Cohen into turn 1, he thinks better of it. He stays in 6th place. This might be Cohen's 5th top 5 finish in a row, and we see a replay of Lucas Dunner, bit of slow motion action, and you can see the front wing end plates there, that kind of bent bit of carbon there, that is the tiniest impact, the tiny corner on that is all it took for his left rear tyre to delaminate in the previous race.
Well, we've got 12 minutes and a half, 12.5 minutes on the clock, 6 minutes remain. Five laps and 3/4, so we might run to time here as Ido Cohen and Niklas Cruton battling away with each other. That's Cruton to the outside and Cohen to the inside. Cohen trying to defend now for 5th place here. Cruton, who tends to get quicker and quicker as a race goes on, comes on towards the end of the races, trying to fight here with Cohen. Cohen able to hold on for now, but we still have 5 more runs potentially down that Camel Straight, unless we do run to time, which there's a chance we could do. In the background, we have Glenn Van Berlo, who, you know, no matter where Glenn Van Berlo finishes this weekend, he's had an absolutely fantastic run. Getting a podium, I think, would make up for 2 DNFs if that were to be the case for him. He's had a sensational weekend with pit lane to 10th. And he's going to continue that run of being in the points every race. All he has to do is finish where he is. We haven't seen much of this man so far, but Maldonado, well, in the last few laps at least, but he is currently in 2nd. He has a 2.5 second gap over Yifei. Now, that gap was coming down, but he responded on the last lap, did Maldonado, and set a personal best. He did a 2:11.2, which matched the pace that the Chinese driver behind him was setting. And that gap seems a little bit more stable on the last lap. Let's see what it is this time as Maldonado comes across the line.
And Ido Cohen is now under investigation as he defends out the final corner from Niklas Cruton, who is still behind him. That, well, we haven't been told why, but that might potentially be because of his defending. Obviously changing line twice on the run to Lacombe. Lucas Dunn has extended his lead now to almost 5 seconds. He's constantly 3 or 4 tenths quicker than drivers behind. The only driver able to stay in the 2-minute 10s. More importantly, the only driver who has no slipstream right now. So he's clearly got something working with his car that no one else has.
Down the Camel Straight we go once more. This now for the 11th time. Niklas Cruton in the tow here of Ido Cohen as Ido Cohen now beginning to defend. Cruton's going to go to the right and Cohen's going to squeeze him on the outside there, making it as difficult as possible. But Cruton's going to give this one a go round the outside and the German driver goes through and into 5th place. Good move, textbook driving there from Niklas Cruton, who goes ahead of Ido Cohen, and he is now into 5th place, and this would be a very good way to end what has been a difficult weekend for Niklas Cruton. Good move into Lacombe and a much-needed rookie win if he can stay where he is. Here's another look at it, Elliot, as he comes into braking.
Very, very stable on the brakes. The car, Motorpark normally has cars that are very loose at the rear end, but, you know, he's planted. He was already on the throttle, pretty much on the apex. So we got that move done very early, and probably Cohen's been side by side with people at that corner more often than anyone else. Car 6, which was under investigation, Ido Cohen, now has a 2-second time penalty, forcing a driver out of track. Now he has a 2.3 second advantage to Glenn Van Berlo behind, so he could potentially lose 6th place with this penalty.
He's got to be careful, and that's now something for Glenn Van Berlo to fight for, because if he can get ahead of Niklas Cruton, he would take yet another rookie win. It would be 2 rookie wins for him and an overall podium this season, so he will definitely want to take that. So he's got something to fight for. That will be delivered to him, I'm sure. And Glenn Van Berlo now just has to try and catch Ido Cohen. For Ido Cohen, there's absolutely no point in him fighting with Nicolas Cruton. See even if he gets the chance to. Nicolas Cruton looking quick. Here's another driver who's looking quick, Cameron Daz, who's once again been forced to kind of come through from the back despite qualifying well. And Cameron Daz, it could have been such a good weekend for Cameron Daz. It's a real shame of the problems that he has had. But Cameron Daz in 4th place, the gap to the top 3, 2 seconds. Yiffy just can't close the gap down to Maldonado anymore. Maldonado, who would have been given the hurry up, has hurried up, essentially. He's done a 2:11.1 on the last lap. It's 2 or 3 laps in a row I've seen him do personal best, so he's driving very well. But in the background, Cruton is going to have some pressure from Ido Cohen, and this is all good news for Glenn Van Berlo if they are to fight, and they are going to indeed fight. Cohen goes wide. He's going to go over the runoff at Lake Coombe, and he'll rejoin, and that's going to do him no favours in terms of his 2-second penalty, and that probably brings Glenn Van Berlo within distance, and it does. So Glenn Van Berlo now provisionally is in 6th place and on for a, well, I'll say a rookie win. Of course, it's Nicolas Cruton he has to worry about. So the gap to Nicolas Cruton is 2.7 seconds. Really, he could do with Ido Cohen going back through, couldn't he? But
yeah, I think potentially with Cohen, if he does lose that spot, Maldonado may overtake him in the points for 5th in the standings as well. Which at the end of an impressive weekend for Cohen is a bad thing, but you know, he is picking up the points, whereas Zane Maloney has got another track limits warning and is down in 10th. He's defending from Rui Andrade right now. Andrade was half a second up on him in the 1st sector alone. So potentially there's an overtake going on at another point in circuit as we follow Yiffy Ye in 3rd place. He is, you know, he's 1/10 a lap slower than Manuel Maldonado at the moment, and with 4 laps to go, if we can complete 4 laps, I don't really see him passing Maldonado, but with only 4 scheduled races to go after this, I think Ye would all but have wrapped up the title by this point. I'll have to do the maths very quickly.
let's do that. So in terms of the rookie lead, Cruton's lead over Glenn Van Berlo is 2.7 seconds. Cohen splits them. In fact, that's now going to go up to 2.9. If not, I'd say it's more 3. And this is Zane Maloney, and behind him is Alexandre Bardignon. So that means Rui Andrade is through, and Maloney is now having to defend for, you know, the 2 last places in terms of the drivers still out there on track. And I don't know if it's damage, I don't know if it's Maloney mentally just giving up on this race. It could be a combination of both, but it's sadly turning into a race that Maloney will want to forget. And Alexandre Bardignon now fighting with Zane Maloney as we go up the Kemmel Straight. Maloney pulling over to the left there, and Alexandre Bardignon has the chance to go through here. Maloney's trying to grab the toe as they go down towards Lake Coombe. He's now going to defend, and onto the outside there goes Alexandre Bardignon, but unable to get through it.
And Maloney, who was under investigation for track limits, that's been changed to a 2-second time penalty for forcing another driver off track, and it's actually car 25 for a track limits warning, which is Alexandre Bardignon, who's just overtaken him. So potentially both of these drivers could end up with penalties. Not a good race for Maloney. I've just done the maths for the points lead. I think at present it's 108 points available over the remaining 4 races after this, and provisionally Ye would have an 84-point lead over Dunner, which is quite a number, because I think that's 3 or 4 races in total. And there's confirmation of the penalty.
There it is, car 31 forcing another driver off track. Down towards the hairpin. Here is 2nd place, the Venezuelan driver for Team Motorpark, Manuel Maldonado. This matching the kind of pace we saw at Red Bull Ring from him. 2 laps remain in this race. We're going to go the distance. We have 4 minutes on the clock, so we will be able to make it round to go on to the final lap of the race. A lap added on when we were behind safety car. How about Cameron Daz this weekend? I mean, if he'd had no troubles in terms of incidents, he could have challenged for wins this weekend, in my opinion. But he's done incredibly well in this race to get back to 4th and be only 2 seconds back from a podium.
Yeah, he's probably made average of 8 overtakes a race, but of those 8, one of them has been the costly one that sent him all the way back down the order again. So I guess he's made 4 on the way up and then 4 back on the way up on average. But with a driver of his experience, he's raced in FIA Formula 3 now, he's raced in BRDC British F3 in the past, he's raced in this series since halfway through 2017. So to not be picking up a podium, despite all these, you know, problems, is a bit of an issue. He should be a lot higher up the order. He should be fighting with Lucas Dunner, Manuel Maldonado and Yiffy.
Well, Yiffy is 3rd place. It's been an eventful day for him. There we can see him in picture. Great day yesterday. I mean, he won yesterday, and I was thinking, it wasn't something I don't think I said on mic, but I thought, you know, there's a chance for him. You know, he might have that confidence to push on and potentially get a hat-trick of wins. Dunner, of course, was the one quickest in qualifying, though, but Yiffy, with that pole time he did earlier, half a second quicker than anyone, I thought there's a threat here in terms of Lucas Dunner's hopes that his confidence is going to be so high, his pace likewise, that he just won't be able to get beaten, even if it's a fight to the flag. But he's had that issue in the second race, which ended in disaster, and in this one, his fortunes haven't been much better, but he's managed to, out of it, get a podium place.
And both drivers have shown a lot of maturity as well. I remember last year we had a very similar incident between Liam Lawson and Yuki Tsunoda, both Red Bull juniors, both with a lot of pressure on them, both driving for Motor Park. And the scenes from that was at least one of those drivers was sitting in tears by the staircase between the upper and lower paddock for some time. Whereas these 2 drivers, they went into their meeting with the team, they looked at the onboards, and both of them were just very kind of, this is exactly what happened. We knew we could have done this slightly differently. We're looking forward to the next race. This hasn't, you know, broken the relationship between the 2 of them. Although obviously their qualifying strategy has changed since, because of the level of competitivity between the 2. But they've pushed each other forward as well. I don't think you have the same kind of teammate competition in the other teams, especially the likes of Drive at School, where Glenn Van Berlo has been racing on his own, and Double R racing in the past. They had Ayrton Simmons running solo. Dunner and Ye have just pushed each other to the max, and that's brought the championship up to a new standard. And we're seeing the same in Japan with Tom's Rotoma Miata with the Dallara 320. If you get 2 drivers who are on the same page, they can make this car very, very quick.
Drupu on for the final time. Dunner is going to be leading us round on this final lap. Manuel Maldonado on track for his 3rd podium of the season and his 3rd second place with it. For Yiffy, this will be another podium for him. He's taken a number of them so far, 12 to be exact now. This will be his 12th podium finish of the season. But there was a dramatic start, and after getting a slight gap out front, taking advantage has been Lucas Dunner. On average, he's been 4/10 a lap quicker than everyone else, including his teammate. He has been absolutely flying out front. On the last lap, he was half a second quicker than anyone. As he comes up to the chicane for Lucas Dunner, this will be a 5th win of the season as he rounds the final corner. Race 3 victory at Spa will go to Lucas Dunner as he crosses the line, and he is all on his own out there. But 5 seconds back, Manuel Maldonado is going to cross the line to take his 3rd podium of the season. Fantastic result for Manuel, and Yiffy will take his 12th podium of the year. Cameron Daz finishes 4th, and it's yet another rookie win for the rookie leader, Nicolas Cruton. Ido Cohen will finish in 7th after his penalty. Glenn Van Berlo finishes 6th place to round off his best result of this best weekend of the season. 6th place for him here today, and he continues to finish in the points every single day. Cohen finishes 7th, Andreas Essner 8th, Sebastian Essner 9th, Rui Andrade back in the points once more for the 2nd time this weekend. Bardignon beats Maloney to the flag for 11th. Sadly, non-finishes for Foster and Pedersen. But another win for Lucas Dunner, his 5th of the season so far. He climbs out of the car, and Lucas Dunner on the top step once again. Fantastic result from him, pulling in just behind his teammate Yiffy. Another podium for him, and Lucas Dunner, well, he did it convincingly. I said 5 seconds. In the end, he was 7 seconds clear of anyone. He blitzed it, I think it's fair to say. Manuel Maldonado will be very pleased with that. Here's your results in full. Dunner, 7 seconds back is Manuel Maldonado. 10 seconds back is Yifei, the championship leader. Cameron Daz, got to give a lot of credit to him this weekend. He's done so much overtaking. He's been hugely, hugely impressive. 4th place. Nicholas Cruton, a good recovery for him in 5th. Glenn Van Berlo, one of the drivers of the weekend, in my opinion. 6th place for him. Cohen, 7th. Good weekend overall. Two podiums and a 7th. Andreas and Sebastian Essner, 8th and 9th. Rui Andrade in the points once again in 10th place. Alexandre Bardignon, 11th. Zay Maloney, no points for him this weekend. Hugely disappointing. He'll bounce back, no doubt, at the next round. Foster and Pedersen did not finish the race after an incident at turn 1. Yifei leads by 84 points. Andreas Essner still 3rd after the good results he had earlier in the season. Cruton is now 4th place. Then it's Cohen in 5th with Manuel Maldonado just 1 point back. Maloney is 7th. Cameron Daz in 8th place. There's Maldonado. Well, with the overtakes he's been pulling off this weekend, I think he did deserve that podium finish. So let's go through your top 3 then. Championship leader looking to wrap up the title next time out. Yifei finishes in 3rd place. A much-needed podium after the dramatic race 2. 2nd place, Manuel Maldonado, his 3rd time finishing in 2nd this season. Some brilliant overtakes to get there as well. The Venezuelan finishes 2nd, but taking the win, Lucas Dunner, his 5th win of the season so far. And Lucas Dunner wins here at Spa. Let's hear from him now.
Lucas Dunner, it was a weekend full of emotions, of action, of fights, but it ends with a victory.
Yeah, really hard weekend for, I think, all of us. Changing the track every time when we go out. Now the day didn't start really well. Only P2 in qualifying with quite a bit of a gap. In race 1, race 2, I think everybody saw my teammate and I had a crash. So. Wasn't ideal, and now for the last race I just wanted to get the maximum out. I didn't expect with the win, but they had I think a small crash in the turn 5, so I could manage to get the lead, and from there on I had 1 safety car restart which went quite well, and after that I just tried to push every lap to the maximum, and yeah, now with P1 to finish the weekend is really nice.
And the way is still long, we still have 4 races.
Yes, 4 more races to come. I think now I should not concentrate anymore on the championship. It's a bit, too many points away from Yifei. But I'm still fighting for it. Everything can happen the next weekend, so I'm looking forward to the next race. And I will give everything I have to get this champion.
Well done. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Another dramatic race. It all kicked off at the first corner. Let's look how it started then. Yifei would lead us from pole position. Dunner in 2nd place. Daz in 3rd. As we turned into the first corner, Louis Foster in 4th was sadly tagged into a spin. Benjamin Pedersen making contact, and the 2 RR teammates would be out of the race on the opening lap. It was close out front though. Yifei led the way as we went up Eau Rouge with Dunner in chase. Daz likewise. Yifei and Daz making contact at Les Combes, dropping the pair down the field as Dunner would lead the way going through Les Combes on the first lap. The incident at turn 1 though would bring out the safety car. As we got going again, there was more overtaking going on there with Essner making a dive up the inside on Cohen. Then we got restarted. Dunner made a brilliant restart, and it was one of the things that would help him win the race as he immediately eased the pressure on himself. Cameron Daz would lunge down the inside of Essner there to start making his progress through the race. This was when Maloney and Glenn Van Berlo made contact. There you can see front to rear, and unfortunately that seemed to pick up damage for the pair, who would start to drop down the order. Glenn Van Berlo though would keep fighting all the way to the end and eventually would go on to finish in 6th and 2nd of the rookies. We had Nicholas Cruton fighting through there. That was the moment he passed Cohen to help secure the rookie victory over Glenn Van Berlo. But out front, 7 seconds clear of Maldonado would be Lucas Dunner, and he would take his 5th win of the season. Maldonado on the podium for the first time. Yeh on the podium for the 12th time. Lucas Dunner on the top step then, Maldonado to the left of picture, to the right, Yifei. Crypto Tower would come out onto the top step, as will Nicolas Cruton now onto the left of picture for the rookie win. And now we'll pause for the national anthems. Well, that caps off round number 6. Lucas Dunner stands on the top step of the podium for the 5th time this season, and as he said in his interview, he has not given up the fight for the championship. 2 more rounds to go. The penultimate round will be in 2 weeks' time at Barcelona. Thank you very much for your company this weekend here at Spa. I think it delivered to expectations, and I'm sure Barcelona will be just the same. We're back in 2 weeks for round number 7 of Euroformula Open. Take care. We'll see you then.